It's January 1st. You feel incredible. This is the year. New you, new body, no excuses. You walk into the shiny gym down the road, and the guy behind the counter grins and slides a contract across the desk. You sign. You buy the nice water bottle. You are, for about 11 glorious days, a completely different person. Now fast forward to March. You haven't set foot in that gym in 6 weeks, but every single month, like clockwork, $40 quietly vanishes from your bank account anyway. And here's the part that should stop you cold. The gym is not disappointed in you. The gym is not sitting there hoping you come back. The gym is thrilled, because a member who pays and never shows up is the single most profitable customer they have. And almost everything about that shiny building was designed to create exactly you. Think about that for a second. Because this isn't one little trick, it's an entire machine, built layer by layer over decades. And each layer is a little more shameless than the last. There's the math trick they pull the moment you walk through the door. There's a famous economics study that proved, with cold, hard data, that you will happily pay more to not exercise. And there's the reason that canceling somehow feels like escaping a hostage situation. By the end of this, you will never look at that row of treadmills the same way again. So do me a favor. The second you recognize your own gym in one of these, drop a little dumbbell emoji in the comments. I genuinely want to see how many of us signed the exact same trap. Let's start with the trick hiding in plain sight. Walk into a typical big box gym and look around. That floor might comfortably hold, what, 200 or 300 people before it starts feeling like a rush hour subway. Now guess how many members that gym has actually sold? Not 300, thousands. Plenty of large gyms carry 6,000 members or more against a floor that fits a few hundred bodies at a time. Stop and do that math with me for a second. If even a third of those members, just a third, decided to show up on the same Monday evening, there would be a line out the door and halfway across the parking lot. The dumbbells would run out. The treadmills would need a waiting list. The whole thing would collapse by dinner time. So the entire business model quietly rests on one assumption, that the overwhelming majority of the people paying will simply not come. Your gym isn't really selling you access to a room. It's selling that same room to 20 different people who will never all be there at once, and praying every single day that it stays that way. And now the part that turns this from merely annoying into genuinely genius. Back in 2006, two economists, Stefano DellaVigna and Ulrike Malmendier, did something wonderfully simple. They got hold of the real attendance records of thousands of gym members and compared them to what those members were actually paying. What they found became a famous paper with a brutal title, Paying Not to Go to the Gym. People on a monthly membership, around $70 a month, showed up, on average, just over 4 times a month. Do the division. They were effectively paying about $17 every single time they walked through that door. And here's the kicker. The very same gyms offered a pay-as-you-go option for around $10 a visit, which means most of these people would have saved money by tearing up the membership and just paying per session. They didn't. Why? Because when you sign that contract in January, you are not picturing the real you. You are picturing a fantasy you, the one who goes 5 times a week and meal preps on Sundays. The gym isn't selling to the tired person actually standing at the counter. It's selling to the imaginary disciplined superhero you believe you're about to become. And that guy never misses leg day. He also doesn't exist, which is exactly why January is the Super Bowl of the entire gym industry. Every year, a massive wave of fresh resolutions comes crashing through those front doors. A huge chunk of all new memberships get signed in just the first few weeks of the year, and the gyms know precisely what happens next, because it happens every year like a season. A large share of those hopeful new members will quietly stop showing up within a couple of months, many within the first few weeks. But here's the beautiful part. If you happen to be the gym, they mostly don't cancel. They just drift. The guilt keeps the membership alive long after the motivation has died. The gym already has your card sitting on file, the money keeps flowing, and you keep gently promising yourself you'll start again next Monday, sometimes for years. They banked your enthusiasm the day you signed. Everything after that is just quiet collection. Now, some gyms took this whole idea and turned it into an art form. Picture the cheap purple and yellow giant a lot of you are thinking of right now. $10 a month, almost suspiciously cheap. Free pizza on certain nights, bagels in the morning, and a siren bolted to the wall, a literal alarm that goes off if someone grunts too loud or drops a weight. To a serious lifter, that sounds completely insane. Why on earth would a gym scare off the exact people most obsessed with working out? Because obsessed people are expensive. They come every single day. They hog the good machines. They grind down the equipment. They take up the space you've already promised to thousands of other members. The most profitable person for that model is not the athlete. It's the one who feels good paying $10 a month, comes maybe twice, feels vaguely healthier just for owning a membership card, and then melts happily back into the couch. The pizza, the rock bottom price, the anti-lifter vibe, none of it is an accident. It's a filter, carefully selecting for the customer who pays every month and stays home. And when the fantasy finally dies and you decide, okay, enough, I am canceling this thing, good luck. Because this is where a lot of gyms drop the friendly act entirely. You could sign up in 90 seconds on your phone from your bed at midnight, but canceling, suddenly you have to show up in person, or mail a physical letter, an actual paper letter, in the year we are currently living in. Or call a number that seems to only be staffed on Tuesday mornings between rainstorms. Every single extra step is deliberate. It is a little maze built entirely out of friction, and it's engineered around one very safe bet. That you are busy, you are a little embarrassed, and you will eventually give up and just keep paying for another few months rather than fight your way through it. The difficulty is not a bug, the difficulty is the product. And there is one more little charge most people completely forget they ever agreed to: the annual fee. Buried in that contract you skimmed in about 11 seconds is a separate once-a-year charge, often $40, $50, $60, that quietly lands in some random month you're not expecting, sitting right on top of your normal monthly payment, politely dressed up as an equipment maintenance fee, and you'll barely even notice it go. That is precisely the point. It's just one more silent withdrawal from a pile of people who, a long time ago, stopped paying attention. Step back far enough, and you realize the strangest thing of all: a gym barely sells fitness. What it's really selling you is hope, a monthly subscription to the comforting feeling that you are the kind of person who's finally got their life together. The equipment is almost a stage prop. You're not really paying $40 for the treadmill. You're paying $40 a month to keep a story alive. The story that one day, very soon, you'll actually use it. So here is the whole machine, laid completely bare, and honestly, it's almost beautiful in how backwards it is. In nearly every other business on earth, your best customer is the one who uses your product the most, the regular, the superfan, the person at the counter every single day. A gym is one of the only businesses where the exact opposite is true. Their perfect customer is a ghost, someone who pays full price, month after month after month, and never once walks through the door. No sweat on the machines, no worn-out treadmills, no crowding, no cost at all, just pure, silent profit, dressed up neatly as your own broken New Year's resolution. You didn't fail the gym. The gym was quietly rooting for you to fail the whole time. Now, before you rage cancel every subscription you own, take a breath, because here is the genuinely good news, and it's better than a refund. You can just see it now. The spell only works while it stays invisible. The moment you truly understand that a gym is betting on your absence, you get to make a real choice instead of a guilty one. Option 1. Actually go. Become the annoying, machine-hogging, money-losing regular they quietly dread, and squeeze every last dollar of value back out of them. Option 2. Cancel. Push through their silly little friction maze on purpose, and keep your $40 a month for something you'll genuinely use. Either way, you flip the whole thing around. You stop being the fantasy customer they sold to back in January, and you start being a person who can actually see the machine, and almost nobody else in that building can. Which brings us right back to that shiny counter on January 1st, and that grin from the guy with the contract. He wasn't smiling because he believed in the new you. He was smiling because he'd seen this exact movie 1,000 times before, and he already knew exactly how it ends. But this year, you know how it ends too, and that quietly changes everything. So before you go, do me one favor and tell me down in the comments, how long did your longest dead gym membership stay alive on autopilot? Be honest, we're all friends here. One quick note, same as always. This channel is made for curiosity and for understanding how these everyday systems really work. The narration and the artwork are AI assisted. The numbers are simplified to tell the story clearly, and none of this is financial advice. It's just the machine, finally explained. Thanks for actually stopping to look at the thing most people scroll right past. Take care of yourself out there.